Hello friends! In this video we shall talk about the impeaching forces, the Satan's forces that cause people to commit transgressions, material and spiritual, and how we can overcome them with the help of the 72 names of God. In our physical world, which is a world of concealment, most people tend to act out of natural tendencies of the ego, to perform selfish actions, harm others or themselves, or act unconsciously. I do not come to criticize most of humanity, and in fact, this selfish behavior has an important role in the process of our spiritual development. And how does it work? For development and growth, we need to expand our vessels so we can absorb additional light. According to the Kabbalah, one of the ways to expand the vessels is by committing sins, crimes, and iniquities on the earthly or spiritual level. Such conduct throws us down to the world of shells, which is the place where vessels are built. The world of shells, or klipot, is the densest and darkest dimension in creation, where the strongest desire to receive exists. The iniquities committed by man create very large vessels designed to receive additional light. But before the light can fill them, there is a necessity to transform them. That is, to implement a certain rectification, a change of consciousness, or a process of understanding of the wrong committed and repent. And the meaning here is not to become more religious, but more conscious. These are the very forces that exist in the shells, the forces of darkness and impurity in the world. When man is spiritually weak, he is tempted to follow them, or he does not recognize them and simply cannot resist them. The indicting or satanic forces, the forces of the Sitra Achra, originate in the left side, the line of geburot, or severity, of the tree of life. They play a very important role in a person's rectification work. Through the difficulty and the decrees they impose on him, they oblige the person to overcome tough situations and make an effort to receive a feeling of light, not out of an egoistic desire, but out of a desire to receive in order to influence. They are the ones who push man to act selfishly, so that he can transform his selfish tendencies into altruistic behavior and become a bestowing force in the world. In other words, anyone who seeks to attain abundance in order to fulfill his egotistic desires and does not intend to share the abundance or benefit others, then indicting forces will rise up against him in the upper worlds. They are the ones who will cause the fall of harsh decrees that will block his vessels and torment him. The spiritual prosecutors perform a double action. They both push a person to commit transgressions, and also cause decrees to fall upon him when his vessels have been expanded and not yet transformed. And all this as an auxiliary tool for his spiritual growth. In certain cases, man may carry with him severe negative karma of very serious offenses from the current lifetime or from previous incarnations. According to the strict principle of measure for measure, man should face a very great difficulty in the present lifetime to rectify the iniquity. But when the offense is very severe, the hardship that the person will have to go through may simply collapse him or cause him unbearable grief. He may suffer damage in his livelihood, in his relationships, in domestic peace, his health, and it may also cost him his life. And this is where the letter combination Nun-Yod-Tav from the 72 names of God comes to our aid. Nun-Yod-Tav allows a person to rectify his offenses in an easier and positive way, and then the rectification will transform the expanded vessel, and the light will be able to fill it. This letter combination is intended for a person who is heading towards devastation or destruction in his life. Nun-Yod-Tav helps to mitigate decrees. Its illumination transforms the forces that indict into forces that advocate, so that abundance can flow to him in a blessing. The transgressions he committed will turn into merits. Nun-Yod-Tav is able to alleviate the grip of the forces of darkness and impurity from the issue where men acted out of selfishness. When the grip of the forces of impurity weakens, decrees will be mitigated. Nun-Yod-Tav helps to overcome negative spiritual forces whose role is to harm, and to curb the evil instinct of the person when he does not control himself and is dragged by egoistic motives. At the same time, the letter combination Nun-Yod-Tav is not some magic formula that will save a person from his troubles. The inscription of Nun-Yod-Tav in the body and mind should be accompanied by deep inner work. Man must correct his egoistic traits such as anger, jealousy, fear, greed, or seeing himself as the center of the world. The harsh character traits must be replaced by altruistic actions for the common good and actions for the sake of heaven. And then man will be able to see a resurrection from the collapse he entered. Working with the 72 names of God touches all areas of life and help us make deep spiritual transformations so that we can fill our vessels with light and abundance and fulfill ourselves in the world. I teach the fascinating subject of the 72 names of God in my online course on udemy.com. The link to the course appears below this video. So, thank you for being with me, and see you in the next teachings.